Fortnite OG has been completely ruined. Now, I know a lot of you may disagree and leave a dislike straight away, but please hear me out. I just want this video to be a discussion point for people who genuinely care about OG, and for me, the first few days are extremely fun, but then Fortnite dropped a secret update to the mode. They said they had made some matchmaking improvements, keyword improvements. Well, for me, these weren't improvements. They made me stop playing OG nearly as much as I was. So what were these changes that stopped me playing?
Okay, who likes Fortnite?
If you didn't know already, Fortnite added skill-based matchmaking and bots to OG. Now, some of you worse players out there may enjoy this addition as you don't want to have to fight someone like me. You may find it hard to get kills, and I completely understand why you may enjoy a change like this. But for me, and a lot of you watching, this is a disaster. I'm a content creator for Fortnite, a small one, but I try my best, and the addition of skill-based matchmaking has made it practically impossible to try anything fun other than put your blood, sweat and tears into winning a game. This particularly affected this video where I did a no turbo building challenge. I lost over 20 games getting around 1 to 2 kills per game. But due to my skill-based matchmaking, I got put against what genuinely felt like unreal ranked lobbies every game. Now, I played a lot of Fortnite competitive over Chapter 5 and the similarities are uncanny. Every game there would be 10 people alive before the first circle closed. Then I would get in one of the hardest fights of my life every game, and despite losing over 20 games in a row, my lobby stayed like this the whole time. Now, I know I was doing a no turbo building challenge and that makes the game even harder, but it also shows how strict Fortnite's skill-based matchmaking system is. It's got to the point where even after losing 20 games, I was still in the upper skill bracket. Some of you may think this is fair, and because I'm good, I should go against 99 other good players. The community seems to be divided about this, which is, I'm not gonna lie, confusing to me. The whole point of Fortnite OG is to let people relive the glory days of Fortnite with the changes we missed, such as double pump, old weapons, the 999 material cap, etc. Or in Fortnite's words, rough edges. The thrill of getting a win back in 2017 and 2018 was such an amazing feeling because firstly, every player you fought was real, and secondly, you never knew who you could come up against. Back then, you could have run into someone worse than you or Prime Ninja. It didn't matter who you were. Basically, what I'm saying is that the game was exciting and it didn't feel like Epic was handing bad players a free win so they keep on playing the game. The problem with skill-based matchmaking and bots being added is that if you're bad, you're basically handed a free win with 90 bots in your lobby, and if you're good, you have to try your absolute hardest, carry the meta weapons and play like it's a tournament just to be able to compete with other players in the lobby. Some of you may think it is unfair for people with any skill to be in a game at the same time, but that was what made Fortnite beautiful. I guarantee if bots and skill based were in the game when it came out, that first victory royale feeling would have just never existed or been nearly as hype. Getting an elim wouldn't be nearly as satisfying. You may also think it's unfair as you'll just lose every game, but that's how it used to feel. That's what made getting the win so hype. When I played Fortnite in Chapter 1, there was always players far better than me, and I would lose hundreds of games over the course of days and weeks trying to get a win. This whole sweats ruined Fortnite thing is so silly to me. There's always been sweats in Fortnite. Yes, the skill gap has gotten bigger now, but there's always been some players who are far better than others. Back then, if you were a casual Fortnite player and you run into Ninja, you wouldn't stand a chance. The same thing stands today. If you're a casual Fortnite player and you run into Peterbot, you won't stand a chance. In my opinion, that's what the main issue is. I think since Chapter 2, when Fortnite added bots and skill-based matchmaking, they set a standard to players that every 10 or less games they would get a win, and due to this, really bad players kept playing instead of quitting the game. And you have to think of Epic Games from a business point of view. They're a massive company now driven by profits, and the more people playing means the more money in their pockets. For all the people defending skill-based matchmaking, I understand why you may enjoy the addition, but it is hurting millions of players who are just averagely skilled at the game. We lived without skill-based matchmaking for 2 years in Chapter 1. There has always been bad players, medium skilled players, sweats and pros throughout Fortnite's history. It's not a new thing. My main issue is that this is an OG mode, but they've added this feature. It's a mode designed for mainly old players who want to play their favourite version of the game. I guess you could say it's also for newer players getting to experience it for the first time, but they shouldn't have jurisdiction over the game mode. If newer players stop playing because it's too hard, then they simply just don't like the OG experience, and there is still plenty of other modes with skill-based matchmaking that they can go and play in Fortnite. The other issue I'm going to talk about is bots. I mentioned them briefly just then, and man, are they an issue. I think a large majority of the player base agree with this stance compared to the skill-based matchmaking debate. To put it simply, bots are just not fun. Fortnite is a PvP, player versus player experience. Well, it was for 2 years, until they started filling lobbies up to the brim with robots. Now, a lot of people thought this was bad from the get-go. The gameplay was simply just not exciting, and it felt like you was a dog and Epic Games were giving you a treat every game.
I'm sorry, no matter how bad you are at the game, you're not going to get excited for killing that.
The problem with bots are, they're not real. It takes away from the experience so much. The thrill of of getting a kill in chapter 1 was that you knew the other player was real. You know you just own that person sitting behind their monitor. Whereas now getting a kill on a bot is just keeping people playing for longer. Because everything in the gaming industry, even the world now, is about retention. But now we get onto the juicy stuff. Why add them to OG? It literally makes the wins feel 10 times less exciting, and I know a lot of people agree with this. When chapter 1 released, people like CypherPK and Hypex were tweeting out sharing a similar opinion to me. That opinion being that getting a win really feels like you earned it and the game felt exciting. These tweets got tens of thousands of likes. People really enjoyed them not being in the game. But I guess Epic Games statistics showed that newer players didn't. Now, I know it may be hard for some of you out there lacking thumbs to get eliminations, but this mode is an OG experience. I repeat, an OG experience. Nothing about bots whatsoever is remotely OG. It's actually very futuristic with AI and everything going on. Bots have just made games feel lackluster. Sometimes the last player you come across is a bot and the win just gets even more ruined. Back in chapter 1, it wasn't normal unless you was one of the best to be dropping 15 plus elimination games. But now, absolute drones can drop a 20 bomb on AI and get that dopamine needed for them to keep on playing the game. Overall, Epic Games have ruined OG for me. It felt amazing at the start, but now games are either on one side of the spectrum, an absolute sweatfest where my lobbies replicate that of Unreal lobbies, or on the other side of the spectrum, a bot-infested, lackluster, boring lobby with some games only having 10 real players. I do hope that ranked gets added soon, but that still won't completely fix this issue, as once you climb your way up the ranks, the lobbies get harder and harder. But at least it will all be real players in ranked. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Are you a fan of bots, skill-based matchmaking, or both? And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe.